It's very important that you please yourself when you draw. You don't want to draw something that you can't connect with or you're not very passionate about. So you do that. So we're going to talk about you drawing as you please. Draw as you please. This requires that you use your imagination and your creativity in combining those two forces. How do you do that? How do you truly be creative or use your imagination? I can only tell you what's worked for me, and I have different ways of accessing creativity. But one of the things I find, if you turn off all the noise around you, turn off the lights, turn off the everything, and maybe play very, very lightly in the background some classical music, something like Mozart or Beethoven, and just lay down and get comfortable. Try and eliminate the world outside of you and all of the kids playing outside your house. Get as quiet as you can. Then go inside and think about what it is you want to draw. So remember what I'm doing right now is just called lightly sketching. You're not committing yourself. And I know he's got the sword in his hand. Maybe the sword would be better like this because we have a better, simpler look. So I'll take this little line off. And I haven't made any commitment. What's going to happen is left with his right arm. I think if he's running, I could probably do something like this. And this is kind of what I'm seeing in my head with his fingers instead of a fist, with his fingers spread, trying to gain speed. So now, with just a few little lines, I can kind of capture a feeling. If I don't like the feeling, if I'm not pleased with where I am right now, now's the time to pick up your eraser and erase, or put your pencil down and look back at your character in your head. You can see that? And I've avoided parallels. I've avoided parallels. At all costs, avoid your parallels. You'll have best stronger drawings. All right, let's go down his chest. Here's the center line of the chest. So there's the right side of the chest, the left side of the chest. And you can get as muscular as you want with him and bulge the muscles all you want. You know, some do it more when they draw the character. I just kind of don't like to draw too much attention to that. All right, here is where the arm connects with the bodice or with the chest. Here's the bicep. Now, something I'd also like you to notice is, notice when I drew the sleeve right here, this is not just a round to draw this flesh. Look at it, it's a straight and a curve. That is more interesting than just round. So it gives your drawing strength. Now if I'm going to put a round right here, and this is almost a French curve there, I'm going to put a very straight here. What I'm going to do is try and lift it off his back. So basically it's connected, but it's flying back. And this gives the feeling that the wind is going against him. And now I can do this at the foot because it lies on the other side of the sword. And there's his big feet again. Again with this line that defines the boot, I can tell the shape of this and it's not as flat. So what we said is, why not take a story that we all know, which would be Alice Through the Looking Glass, and go in there and meet all the creatures that Alice met, and let's see if we can't probably make each one of them challenge this guy. So he actually goes into the looking glass, gets lost in there, and Mordroc the magician comes chasing him through there. But one of the things that he meant, and this gave the opportunity to invent a lot of different kinds of characters and monsters. One of the things we meant in there was the Jabberwocky. Sort of like that. That's kind of the basics of the creature. I'm kind of pleased with that. Now, in hindsight, looking back on the history of this, I remember someone says, well, you certainly can't make this as scary as the thing you saw with Tennille's drawings. So, you know, dull it down a little bit. So we did. In an attempt to do it, we made him more comic. So let me just say what we did with the face, because the face is very much like the Tennille. Here's the mouth. Let's say this is the eye line right here in this little circle. I would draw the great big eyes, great big eyes. I don't know what monsters like this do to groom themselves, but I'm sure this guy now spends a lot of time in front of the mirror. I want to get, this is a lot of curves going on in this neck, and look, there's no straights, but here's one, here's another, and then here is another statement there. So there's 3 different things going on just in that definition. Let's put the tunic on him. I'm going to dip it kind of low and then put a button there. And the tail's not too interesting, so I think you have to bring in some little pinch skin here and there. We can do the warts on him, that gives it some texture. And of course, I'm going to keep the scales limited to maybe just the body of this creature. So on his back we have a few scales, on his leg we have a few scales, and
there were some other monsters in Dragon's Lair that I really loved, and I was just given a name at first. They said there's these little creatures, and they're called the Giddy Goons. Whatever the heck that means. And then you take these names, and I said, what is a Giddy Goon? What does it do? How does it think? Well, a goon is kind of like a little troll or a little creature, and it would probably have a tail.
Horns. I can see him with horns. And we'll say he's got little arms. And what's his weapon? How does he defend himself? If Dirk has a sword, let's give this guy a sword somehow. It's a short little sword. Something like that. Goon. See that S? That means there's more than one of them. So what if I made 2 little guys who are like, you know, Mutt and Jeff or Frickin' Frack or whatever, and so there's 2 of them, and they look alike. So if I can get some kind of a face that's appealing, then I say, okay, I have confidence to continue. Ears on the eye line. What I see in my head is a neck, comes out like this, and then shoulders that are right up against her cheek. And, you know, you get something nice. Okay, easy enough now to detail this, and one of the beguiling thing about any kind of feminine character is the eyes. And particularly the lashes. Some people exaggerate this more than others, but I think the lashes tell you an awful lot. And then the brow. Straight. There's this. And we pretty much have it. I can get a crown on her head. And the crown probably has its own jewels on it, but then let's get the hair.
Okay, this has been great today. I've loved sharing some of the ideas I've learned with you about drawing to please yourself. So remember, you must please yourself. There are occasions when you'll have an employer and he wants you to please him. Let me cover that just a little in saying this. If you please yourself and you're passionate about something, the chances are you really are going to please an employer or a client. The last thing I'd like to tell you is, please look over my shoulder. Please copy for now until you get the hang of what we're doing. And then you can explore and branch off and find new ideas. So thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later.